my grandfather showed me years ago when I was in elementary school. He took a piece of thread and he wrapped it around one finger and then the other side around the other finger, and he said, "Ira, I want to show you the difference between success and failure." And he took that thread and he went pop. And when he showed me that, it was so strong that I realized, how fragile that whole thing is. If you have some goal or plan or you're on a track, you just can't take it for granted. You have to still continue to work at it. You have to be responsible. You have to take care of business. So that one little demonstration of the thread being so fragile and going pop showed me, that it's really important to stay on it. Mm-hmm. And then the other thing is, my first trombone teacher, Harold Diner, when I was just starting with him, I was 10 years old at that time, and he was one of the fine studio musicians here in Los Angeles, and he's still alive. Harold Diner's 96 years old now, and we still keep in touch.
That's awesome.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And he told me, he said that, "Ira, I want you to practice, and I want you to practice hard." He says, "I want you to be ready for whatever comes along," he says, "because opportunity knocks only once." And that kind of made me think too,
Yeah.
Opportunity knocks only once, so you should be prepared. Now, personally, my life experience, I feel that, opportunity knocks more than once. So, but it doesn't hurt to always be prepared for whatever.
Hello and welcome to the 11th episode of Bone Masters, where we get to meet living trombone legends, hear them play, have master classes, and talk about music. This week we feature the wonderfully talented Ira Nepus in his second appearance on Bone Masters.
Some of the people that, I was very fortunate to run across, Louis Armstrong. I always wanted to play with Louis Armstrong. And when I was in Las Vegas with Woody Herman's band, we were at Caesar's Palace, Louis Armstrong would be at the Tropicana Hotel. So, I just loved, his music, and then found out, of course, what a great human being he was, too. So I used to take a taxi cab over every break that I had to go over and catch Louis Armstrong's show, and hang out with him in the dressing room, and he was playing cards and talking stories. And then he'd come over and catch our gig over at Caesar's Palace with Woody's band. In fact, there was one year we were playing with Woody and Duke Ellington together on the same stage. So that was for 3 weeks, from like around Christmas time going into New Year's. We had a set that went on at 2 o'clock in the morning. Woody Herman's band together with Duke Ellington's orchestra on the same stage. For 3
Heaven.
weeks. It was like, jazz heaven.
Yeah,
And so Woody's band would play a number, Duke's band would play a number. And then we would go over and crisscross across the stage and go play Duke's music, and the guys in Duke's band would come over and play Woody's music. And it was like, neither band could play the other's music. It was hilarious. It was just like funny, comical.
Wow.
And first of all, we couldn't even read Duke Ellington's music because it was so splotched and blotched. The music had been running, the ink had run, and we couldn't even see what the notes were anyway.
It was all hand.
It was all hand
Yeah.
copied out, and so it was very messy. And
The spit valves making the notes run.
Yeah. So we couldn't even tell what those notes were, but we could fake some of those things like Perdido and whatever. And the same thing for Duke's guys coming over and playing Woody's music. That was hilarious too. And then at the end, we'd always do a big blowout tune together, like Take the A Train, where both bands would play together.
Oh, nice.
And then we'd get off probably about 4 o'clock in the morning. That's when the show would be over. And then Louis Armstrong would be there waiting. And we would go hang out together and play the slot machines together. And so Louis would put...
Wow.
So Louis would put like some money in for me to pull the handle, and then I'd put money in for him, and he'd pull the handle.
Unbelievable.
And for most of the time that we were in Las Vegas doing that gig, Louis was coming almost every night after the show, and we would hang out.
He was a cool guy, huh?
He was such a great guy, very cool guy.
Just
and then,
like you picture him, huh?
Absolutely. And then I would get exhausted, and say, I gotta go to bed and go, I gotta go to sleep.
Right.
But he was still ready to go. He was ready to party, and I remember that one morning I got up early to have breakfast, and Louis was coming in with his suit on still and his trumpet.
Yeah.
And he was coming in. He had been up all night long, and he was coming in to have breakfast at the Tropicana or the Caesar's Palace, wherever it was. So he never went to sleep.
Wow, he's always on go, go, go.
Always on go, 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 yeah.
That's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah. And really...
And always delivered when he performed.
Oh, just to sit in front of his bell and hear that sound, you know, that was so special for me. That sound that he had. I mean, I've never heard that equaled by any trumpet player to this day. As great as everybody is, nobody had that big fat sound that Louis had, you know, and he was such a great entertainer and a great human being, very warm human being.
Hey everybody, hey, this is different. You can see my face. Paul here, and thanks for tuning in to the 11th episode of Bone Masters. We're having a great time here. Thank you, Ira. You're the absolute best. Now, be sure that you check out Ira's Music Minus One books. They are amazing, like really good. Fun to play along with, the whole works. So I'm going to put a link to some of his stuff down in the description. I also want to let you know that I'm in the middle of producing a couple other projects. One is a new series that I'm working on called Music Masters. So it's going to be like Bone Masters, but it's going to be everyone in the music industry, anyone associated with the music industry, from the musicians to the behind the scenes, the production, engineering, everyone is fair game then. And they'll be on that show, and that will be rolling out sometime next year. I also have other Bone Master guests that are coming on this show that I'm going to be filming soon. Some of my all-time favorite trombonists. I'm excited to release their names momentarily, so stay tuned to that. Also want to thank all my Patreons or patrons on patreon.com/PaulTheTrombonist that are helping fund these videos. The donations are getting divided amongst all the musicians on this series. And I want to thank BAC Music. And I want to thank you for watching, because your views and you watching are why this is going on. If it wasn't for that, then this would not be happening. So, next episode is going to feature Alex Isles again, and wait till you hear what he has to say. It's going to inspire, educate, and change your life. Now remember, you can tune a piano, but you cannot tune a fish. Go fish.
La 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 la.